Good morning, everyone. I'm Denise O'Malley with You Define Wellness, and welcome to another edition of an Apple a Day webinar. This is where we, twice a month on the second and fourth Thursdays of the month at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, we bring to you some topic of wellness. Wellness of your business, wellness of your body, wellness of your life. And today I am thrilled to introduce to you my friend Trevor Mickelson. Trevor, thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Well, you are the resident expert of money and your growth and the business that you've had and everything that you are just presenting to the world in terms of enlightenment where money is concerned has just been very refreshing. So I'm excited to have you. And what are you going to share with us today?
Well, Denise, thank you very much for having me on your bi-monthly show. This is very exciting. I've been thrilled to present to your group. Today is a very interesting topic because I love that you use the word enlightenment. That's kind of one of the things I keep on the back end, hidden, out of sight, and people look at me as, oh, you're senior vice president of this financial services company. You do financial education. And so a lot of it is really the numbers, the dollars, making sense of the cents. And once I get into that conversation, then I unveil that, hey, it's more than just money. It's about the energy of money, how you feel about money, the psychology of money. There is so many aspects about money. And I think today you're going to see both ends of that, where we're going to be focusing on a lot of the hard numbers, the money, the dollars, the cents, but also the emotional side of money, because when you step back and look at it, your bank account is just an external representation of how you feel about yourself. And money is an interesting topic, and we generally take on the karmic pattern, if you will, from our parents and our grandparents and our society and our community, our churches, our friends, family members. And we have the opportunity to continue those cyclical patterns of shaming and beating yourself up and hating money. Though through my educational programs, what I love doing is turning that conversation up on its head. Yes, focusing on the money side and showing people how to turn a debt situation into a wealth situation, though also going as deep as we possibly can to really heal those emotional traumas that come around money. Because when you step back and look at it, money affects every aspect of individuals' lives, with relationships, friendships, the way that you eat, your mental health, your physical well-being, your emotional, spiritual, everything. Money is involved. So what I have the pleasure of doing is working through people's financials of their household and their personal life. And then we get to go through all the other aspects of individuals' lives as well. So today we're going to be not diving deep into that, maybe on a later show. But today what we're going to be talking about is really three areas that are going to help your community, because what you focus on is bringing a different approach to wellness into the business community. And a lot of organizations are struggling because of their employees are living paycheck to paycheck. They are broke. They are frustrated. They are looking for other opportunities because they think that, hey, the only way out of my current situation is to make more money.
Yep, working harder.
Right. And you and I both know that doesn't solve it. It doesn't, which is why I love your program, because it builds a sense of retention and a different vantage point for business owners to realize, wow, it's never about the money. And so today we're going to go into our three areas that really you're going to be able to discover magic by mastering things like debt, your credit score, and also your retirement planning. Those are probably the three hot topics, which is why I chose them in my business. People are struggling paycheck to paycheck, so they have all this debt. They don't know what to do. I'm going to share one simple strategy, and then also know that there's about 25 other strategies that are deeper than this, and we'll have an opportunity to go through that a different time. And also credit scores. This is a big one, because getting anything from getting a new job to getting different insurances to whatever, credit scores are affecting every aspect of our lives these days. So they're very important, and people want to know how to do that. And also retirement planning, it's getting pretty scary, because 70% of Americans who are retiring now go, count them, 10 years into retirement, and then they have nothing left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty scary, Denise, when you start stepping back and looking at it, that the current financial system that's in place really is just not working. And I think that's why you and I work so well together, is because we're really you're disrupting the benefit side,
Yep.
and I'm disrupting the financial conversation of what really we need to do to help support and shift the dynamic of the trajectory of this country. And I'm really, really, really excited about today's program, because we're gonna turn it over on its head. So
all right, let's turn it over.
Cool. All right. So let me switch over here, and let's get started. So here we go. So today's conversation we're going to be talking about is discovering magic. And in mastering your debt, credit score, and retirement planning. So what you can do to help your employees struggle, and how you can help them with. So just a little bit about me. This is my life.
Love the T-shirt.
Yes. Yeah, actually, there is definitely a story behind that one. I discovered, or I decided to embrace my gifts and go out and venture on my own, and it's been wonderful ever since. And so I'm a father. My two sons are Levi and Dean. My wife's name is Julia, and basically I'm an inspirational financial educator, brewer of probiotic blends, so probiotic sodas. I love doing that. Mentor, vegan chef and teacher, tutor, a Malayan hiker, superhero, growth mindset, women empowerment, influencer, and coach. So today, the first thing is what we're going to dive into is debt. And really, you've got two options to focus on where you are in your financial situation. And the question is what mindset do you have about your money? Do you have a debt mindset, or do you have an abundance mindset? Because when you look at the wealthy individuals in this country, they're not in that lack mindset. They're thinking growth. They're thinking how to get better. They're thinking about other ways to leverage their money and grow it. And so just awareness is going to be the key of where you are today. And I know we've got a very large audience today, so if there is any questions that do pop up, just put them in the chat. And Denise, if you could just help me moderate that so I can keep on track. So basically knowing where you are. So, to first set the intent, appreciate where you are. Appreciate the process of allowing financial abundance in your life. That's the biggest thing, because generally where our parents and our grandparents and our friends in society is there's a lot of shoulding. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, if I only would have done that, I would have been. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, I'll get to it. I'll do this. I have to. And basically what it is a bunch of shaming on ourselves about where we are. And when you step back and realize, okay, we're a very highly educated society. However, did you have the opportunity, and I'll ask you, Denise, did you have the opportunity to take Wealth Building 201 back in high school or college, or how to manage money like a millionaire?
No. The closest was an accounting course. That was it.
Right. So there's opportunities to have that business financial aspect, but zero aspects and availabilities lie in the public school system. And we can have a deeper conversation on that, of why that is at a later point in time. But I believe it's on purpose, because if you aren't educated about your money, you're not going to have it. And if you don't have money, you don't have choices. And if you don't have choices, then you're not going to be empowered. And disempowerment is the worst position that you can be, not only emotionally, but also financially. So just know that you're not in a situation, unless you have wealthy parents who taught you all about this and gave you that 1-800 number that you called when you turned 18, which 99% of us did not. It's kind of step back and go, oh, well, nobody ever taught me. And that's okay. So it's okay.
Yeah. We have a question here.
Okay. Yeah.
Is in setting the intention, is what words do you use? How do you set the intention? When you say, it sounds like an easy thing to do, but that's really difficult.
Thank you for stopping me, Denise. And this is the most interesting thing, that words, I focus a lot on words, though and we'll go over this a little bit later. I'm excited for where I am and where I'm going. I appreciate my journey and where I've been. I'm excited about the lessons that I've learned, and I'm really, really looking forward to connecting myself in an environment, in a culture, in a system who's going to teach me more about money and how to leverage my future so that I can live the life of my dreams. Something simple like that. Or I have an abundance mindset, and everywhere I go is successful opportunities that I become aware of every day. And allowing yourself to step back and realize, well, where are you right now? Mm-hmm. And that's what the next part is create that awareness. So right now, where are you? What is your mindset? Are you shaming on yourself? Are you beating yourself up? But right now, we're actually going to have a little game. All right, Denise, where are you right now?
I have a mantra that I say to myself almost every single day, and that is, I am abundant, I am wealthy, I am strong.
Ooh, I love it. So let me ask you a different question. Mm-hmm. Where are you physically right now?
Where am I physically? I am in my home office.
Cool. So you're in Denver, Colorado, right?
Denver, Colorado.
Exactly. I'm up in Erie, Colorado, and we got some viewers in Nashville, Tennessee. We got some down in Florida. We got some in Seattle. I believe that's where they were, in California. We've got them all over the country. Now the question is, all right, so here's the trick. This is what you're going to do. Right now, you're going to pick up all your belongings and you're going to head to St. Louis, Missouri right now. Just grab what you can within a 2-foot radius and just go.
Okay.
Okay, pretty scary thought, right? Your brain just starts going like, well, wait, where am I supposed to, what am I supposed to, should I bring my phone? Should I bring my computer? Money? Like, what do I do? Where do I go? Like, how do I even get there? And all these questions start, and then you just go, well, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know how to get there. And your brain freaks out because it doesn't know the way. You don't know what you need. You don't know anything about it. And that's the question, is how prepared are you? So knowing where you are, not only physically and to get to St. Louis, Missouri, that's the two things, is you got to know where you are and you got to know where you're going.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
The plan. Yeah.
And how prepared are you to get there? Now, if I said, Denise, grab all your stuff and go, you're probably going to say, I'm not very prepared for this.
Yeah.
I don't have what I need. I've got my kids. I've got my business I'm running. I've got my husband. I've got all these clients. I've got all these expectations. I'm not ready to go. And that's how a lot of people are right now with their money, is they're not prepared to make any changes or any shifts. So right now, what tools and resources do you have to get to St. Louis? Not much. Where are people right now to actually change their money situation right now? They don't have tools and they don't have resources. The other thing is they don't have strategies or skills that they could implement to get there. Now, yes, we can grab our phone and we have a map on here. We got a car, we've got our credit cards, we physically get that, but what road is the best road? Where do we stay? Where do we eat? What are the best sightseeing places along the way? Because that's life, right? It's not just about getting into that financial situation. It's also about having the lifestyle along the way.
Exactly.
And so when I compare money to physically traveling, people are like, oh, I get it. I spend more time planning my vacations than I do my retirement and my future.
Yep.
So we're going to dive into that.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 6 simple steps to shift into abundance, because that's really what you want to be, is in that abundance mindset. And I'm going to focus on the kind of the lighter side of it, the more the side that I like to focus on, but also for those logical minds who are still in spreadsheet worlds and they've got the engineer mindset of maybe I'm talking too energetically up here or whatever. But really the first step is you reconnect. So you got to think of this as a relationship with you and your money. When your money is a physical person, and allow it to be your friend, your best friend, actually. And think about it. If your money was your best friend and you treated your best friend the way that you did about your money, the same way, how long would he or she be your best friend?
That's a really good statement.
Yeah. Ouch, right?
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You got to mend that relationship. So get away, take some time. If you're going to really have that relationship, you got to hang out with them more than once every 6 months or 2 years. Hang out with them once a week. Get away. Shut the doors. Go outside. Hang out under the trees. Drink some pina coladas if you have to, whatever it might be. But get away, catch up. Ask, how are you? Where have you been? What have you been up to? Because most people have no idea what has been happening with their money. And what that means for the logical minds out there is add up everything and determine what are the categories that each of your expenses have fallen under. So is it gas? Is it groceries? Is it entertainment? Is it, traveling? Where is your money going? The second thing is reevaluate. Are you giving enough of yourself to that relationship, your energy, your time, your focus, to actually create the income that you desire to fund your financial future, your dreams, and your desires? So for those logical minds, it's really create a spending analysis. Where's the money coming in and where is it going out? In the business world, they call that a profit and loss statement. But in the personal world, I call it an income and choices, because really where you're going, because you'll have this financial education, you have the knowledge, you'll be able to make those choices because you'll have a goal and an expectation of what your future is going to look like, which will empower you to make choices. Well, what's better? Getting this $5 latte, which, hey, it feels good. I feel great about it. I'm very empowered. Or would it make more sense to not buy that and keep the $85 that will grow in compound interest through the time value of money? I'm going to make the choice, neither of which are disempowering. They're both empowered. I would rather spend my money on, or I would rather not spend my money on. And really what it is, it's about choices. The third is rediscover. So feel into the flow. And what I mean by this is, now that you have you've seen all your money and where it's go, feel into it. Does it feel good? Oh, gosh, I'm just doing this because it's a pattern of habit that I've created in order to fill a void somewhere in my heart that has came up through trauma of the past. I'm doing this because this is what my parents did. I do this because I feel disconnected to my sister, and this is something that we used to do all the time, and I'm just throwing money at it. And really what I could be doing that would make me feel better is just to pick up the phone once a week and tell her that I love her. And instead of doing that, I don't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars a month on this habit that is really not focused on the solution itself. So feel into the habits that you have and find if they are feeding positivity, they make you feel good and empowered, or feel into the emotions of your money and see if they're make you feel bad. And those ones that make you feel bad, boy, that's a great opportunity to shift that. For those logical minds, look at do a cash flow analysis. Find the leaks. See if you can't shift from one cell phone provider to another. Maybe you can downgrade your cable TV, or heck, get rid of it altogether and do something like Netflix or Redbox, or stream something free on YouTube. there's so many ways that you can look at your different insurances, life insurance, homeowners insurance, property and casualty, whatever it might be, umbrella policies, that on average, just for my clients in a simple process, we honestly, like on average, find people $300 to $500 easy a month. And that's something that's really exciting because people aren't really good at finding the leaks in their own pipes. They've got to call in a plumber to go, hey, where is all this happening? And that's something that I love helping people with.
So let me stop you there, because we got a variety of questions I'm going to summarize here.
Cool.
So, so there are experts out there like yourself. You actually would sit down with someone and say, hey, let's identify the leaks and help them plug them.
Crazy, right? I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Denise, there's a lot of individuals out there who all they're looking to do is sell their programs, books, courses, and things like that. And at the end of the day, you're stuck doing it yourself, which, I mean, that's no pressure at all, just being solely responsible for your financial future, because unless you have $5 million, no one will talk to you. Yeah, our organization specifically focuses on middle income Americans to help them through this situation. And whether they're in the local community and we meet face to face, that's more rare now for my business because I have a national based business and I am focusing on helping people nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to help as many people as possible. So generally I do it virtually, but yes, absolutely. We sit down with people and have an opportunity to go through their cash flow analysis and find out where they're misappropriating their money and allowing them to get in the process of really rock and rolling. So,
Awesome.
because once you have that, you really can realize that there are ways, because once you've going through this process, you're like, oh, I'm either in a deficit, I'm not making enough, or I am making enough, I'm making more than I thought I was, but now I have this goal of my future, because we lay that out as well and we paint that dream and visualize what that's going to be. But once you've realized that you might be on course, awesome, or you might be off course, and one degree, just 1 degree over 20 years of walking on this straight path, that's going to be off a long way. So even if you're off 1 degree, it's always about readjustment. So realize that there are ways that you can accumulate additional sources of income so that you can reach the desires of your heart. And what I mean by that is a part-time, no-time moonlighting gig or a hustle where you are generating money and to increase your income, because that's where a lot of people are right now, is they've dug themselves into a lot of debt, which I'll be going into next and showing you how to blast that apart. But yeah, most people need to bring in a part-time income. So once we got into this position of we've reconnected, we've reevaluated, we've rediscovered, we realize now we need to reaffirm. So understand what money represents. A lot of people think, oh, the root of money is all, or the root of money, or money is the root of all evil. There it is. But it's not. It's absolutely not. It's the exact opposite. Money is freedom. Money is choices. Money is prosperity. Money is service, and money is love. There's no nonprofit in this world that could operate without money. You think about where your food comes from. It comes from the love of the farmer sowing the seeds of his crop. And that love is transitioned into that food, which is then purchased or shipped to a grocery store. The workers there receive that and that love, and they put it on the shelves. And the mom comes in, she loves her kids, and all there is transactions of money. It's the passing of love. And that love that was planted 6 months ago is now offered at that table. And that could not have got there without love being passed along the way. It is love. Money is love. And that's something that I love in allowing people to understanding. And the love of money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is loving love itself. and when you get this in your mindset, you go, oh, I love money because it allows me to travel, it allows me to serve, it allows me to provide. I feel so good with it. Oh my gosh, I love money. And that's a great place to be in. And that's a great place to be in. So for the logical minds out there, you carve in that debt-free date on your calendar, and you initiate a countdown. You cross out every date and you get pumped. is really what it comes down to, and reaffirm your passion for knowing you're on the right path. And then all you do, Denise, after that is you repeat. You fall in love with the journey over and over and over again. Where are you?
So instead of funneling all your energy into wishing that you'll win the lottery, you funnel it into loving what you have, honoring what you have, becoming friends with what you have, and developing a different relationship.
Hey, you know what? What you appreciate appreciates.
Oh, I like that.
So you can either appreciate your debt and then you'll get more debt, or you appreciate the money and the opportunities that you have and the path that you're on, and it will just get better and better and better.
Absolutely. Amen.
Absolutely. So now that we've shifted, we're into the abundance mindset. I'm going to show you 5 ways of how to quickly pay off your debt.
Okay.
And this is one of my real clients. So we're looking at this. This is not an insane amount of debt. This is consumer debt, some education, and some medical bills. And basically the original debt, as you can see, I'm going to see if I can't get my, I don't think I can draw on this, but so right here, basically he's putting original debt of $78,000. Well, the person was putting in $931, living paycheck to paycheck, I mean, just doing the minimums. She was going to be in debt for 106 years. Now, if you don't think that that is slavery, being indebted to someone for the rest of your life, then we got to check that conversation, because I believe that debt is the new form of slavery. And when you start realizing and do the numbers of where you are, this person would never have a retirement. They would never start working. They would be a slave to till they die. And so basically what I would show them is just the fast track to freedom, which is what you do is you set it up, and I'm going to show you 5 ways to pay it off, and it's different almost every time. So in running the numbers, it really comes down to, which one works the best for me? And so there's a lot of talking heads out there that says, oh, do this first, do that first, highest interest first. It's not. It's always different. So just allow yourself the space to figure out what it is, and then work with somebody like me to help you through that process. But basically, what we're going to do is the lowest balance first. So this Capital One only has $1,000, and then the Care Credit has $1,700, and we put them up in ascending order so that the last one we're paying off is at $38,000. And basically, what happens is, what we're going to do is we're just going to start paying things off, and it's going to go kind of slow, and then all of a sudden, a few months later, actually about 2 years later or so, we're going to have about $152 that's been freed up. That's in the power payment. It goes 0, and the next line 0, and the next line 0, and then $152, because basically what we've done was we paid off the Capital One, the Care Credit, and the MasterCard. Well, when all those are paid off, we've got $152. Actually, it's the Care Credit and MasterCard will be paid off in 32 months. And basically, we've got this $152 that we start throwing at the Discover card, and then that will be gone in 38 months. And then now we've got $218 that we freed up, and that'll be gone 2 months later. And then 2 months later, we got 322 months, and then 3 months later, we got 658, and so on and so forth. And basically what happens is, through that simple debt process of paying down, this woman will have literally got out of debt in 8.75 years. And that is not considering any new money that will get, any refinancing her finances or her taxes or anything like that. But basically just focusing on the least balance first. And then the next one is the highest balance.
Hold on. And there's a comment here. It's not a question, it's a comment. But you got to cut up your credit cards and not incur any more debt.
Well, that's part of the process, of course. Yes, absolutely, Denise. Thank you very much for that. But that's the thing is, we don't want to cut them up, or we don't want to, and that's actually the lack. That's the debt mindset is, I've got to go from 100% to nothing. And a millionaire wouldn't cut up his credit cards, would he? Nope.
Nope.
So this is where you get empowered. And you go from a situation of needing to freeze your credit cards to actually leveraging them and benefiting from their cashback bonuses or all their points to give you free travel.
I got it.
That's the mindset that we're going to get people in. So actually, we're not going to be cutting off credit cards or hiding them or calling and saying, don't cut me off, because credit, and we're going to go into this, is actually a good thing. Now, the other is you pay off your highest balance first. And yeah, you're going to get out of your debt in 17.7 or 17.17 years. But like I said, there is a faster way of doing this. Mm-hmm. For her situation, lowest interest rate first. This will do this in 14.42 years, which is better than 106. But that first scenario we showed was the lowest balance first. And now here it is, the highest interest rate first. And this is what everybody is telling you to do. Pay off your highest interest rate first. It's 9.3 years. So a little more than 8.75, but still that's a half of a year that so it's not bad advice, but it's not the best advice. And what we wanted to do is allow people, and some it is the highest interest rate first. So this is 9.3 years. And then the last is the fastest to eliminate. And generally, I find that this is the best one, because you see over here in the fifth column or the second column from the left, the total number of payments, mm-hmm. where it goes 23, 26, 34, 39, and so on and so forth. I actually find that this one most often is the best way to do this, because what it does is it frees up cash flow sooner. It allows you to have that power payment go from nothing to 94 to 152 to 256 and so on and so forth. This time around, it almost was the best. It's actually the second one, but more often than not, this is the way to go. And what I love is actually down here at the bottom on the right-hand side, it'll show you the original debt, but it'll show you the amount of payments. So it's gone from $191,000 to $98,000. So it's knocked off about $100,000 in interest payments. So it goes from $113,000 of interest payment to only $20,000. And yes, if this woman were to live 100 more years, she would have just saved $1 million. But I mean, I don't know if she'll live to 136, but maybe. So anyway, so this is a really fast way to do this, but there are different things that you can utilize. You actually can utilize debt or loans or other things to do expedited fast track payments. And those numbers we don't have time to go into this today, but I literally can show people how to pay off hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, like their mortgage, in a really, really fast amount of time. I'm talking like 5 to 7 years to show people how to pay off hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. It's amazing. And really that's the next question is, well, Trevor, I was paying $931 towards debt. What do I do with that now? And that's where the abundance comes from. It basically, you turn your debt situation into a wealth situation, because if you just save $931 a month without compound interest, without any growth at all, you're going to be doing a lot better than you are today. But really, that is keeping you pretty far down there. So we are going to remember is this abundance. So we want to allow this abundance, because that's the really way that it happens. So allow wealth accumulations to happen to replace those debt creation habits. And it really comes down to the words that you're using. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. Oh, I hate myself because of this. Oh, I can't believe it. And what it comes down to is I would rather, I want to, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this instead. And it's those words that we get to use. We don't have to use them. You don't have to, but you get to. I'd love it if you did, and you'll love it too. So position yourself actually to embrace where you are, your position, your velocity, how fast you're going now. So you might be going 0, but then 5 miles an hour, and then 10 miles an hour, and then 30 miles an hour. So embrace how fast you go too, because some people are not ready to go right now. Maybe they need 6 months to get in a position where they are ready to move. And then it's fast, 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 fast. Maybe you have to slow down a little bit. But really what it is you love the jumps. And that right there is a physics joke. Snap. And if you don't get that, you'll get it. but I love derivatives and physics and stuff. So anyway, so basically appreciate you where you are, appreciate how fast you're going, appreciate the changes in your speed, and then the jounce, the snap is appreciating how fast you go through that whole process, because your story is the story that other people are going to need in order to get empowered too. And that's the reason why you're going through these hardships, is because without your story, you couldn't help the hundreds or the thousands or the hundreds of thousands or the millions of people that you're going to help in your life. And believe that, trust me, my story is the thing that gets me up every single day to help people, because we went through two financial crashes because of a medical situation. And where were we? We're with this low vibrational state of jealousy and fear and rage and frustration and disempowerment. And you allow those feelings to go and embrace and attract higher vibrational thoughts to encompass your life. Those hope is where you when you hit hope, baby, oh boy, you were there. Because then comes the bliss, the joy, the empowerment. It's everything. So basically, if you're finding yourself over here, you hate where you are, you're jealous of other people. Well, believe it or not, blaming people, blaming the society, blaming the government is actually a better place to go. Worry is a better place to go than blame. Being overwhelmed about where you're frustrated is a better place.
Yeah.
And then you hit this place of, I'm just bored of where I am. Hey, you're almost there. Keep going. Then you reach 6, that hopefulness, that optimism, enthusiasm, passion, joy. You've reached it. And this is,
love that.
Believe it, like this is money. This is currency. Because it's all energetic. Currency is the flow of money. Current is the flow of your emotions. It's currency, it's energy. It is.
You know, what I love about this, Trevor, is that you've just shown what some of the questions have been, is that, you know, where you're enthusiastic and passionate about what you're talking about, and people looking at you like, I don't know that I could ever get there. You just shown them the stages to get there, and that you don't have to jump from number 21 to 1. In fact, it probably isn't going to happen overnight like that. It's changing that mindset so you start moving up the scale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
You can either feel a better feeling. I feel into better feelings. My wife thinks a better thought. We actually do things the exact opposite. And yes, there are ways that I can show people to go from a situation of fear and 22 to go to joy, appreciation, empowerment to number 1.
And this is just a scale for life. It's not just about your money.
Because money's not about money.
No,
money's
it's not.
Everything else.
No.
So.
All energy. Awesome.
Yeah. So this is the question. So where are you? Where's your money? Are you resonating in a place of drama? Or are you optimistic and enthusiastic? Because money does not want to hang around with you. If you are angry and revengeful and jealous, it really wants to hang out with those who are empowered. And so that's the other thing, is so money amplifies and uncovers clues of the true traumas in your life. So,
wow.
So if you're with your partner, or you're with yourself, a husband, a kid, whatever, grandma, you're spending too much. I blame you. You better change now. It's actually, I feel guilty about the way I've been spending. I'm sorry. I'll change. It's never about anybody else. It's always about you when it comes to your money. And that's one of the wonderful things I love helping about relationships and the partnerships with money, partners, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, girlfriend, marriages, that it's never about the other person. It's always about them. And that's one of the things I love helping, is improve that money conversation, whether it's in business or in life, because wherever you are emotionally, you're going to attract opportunities that are exactly like where you are. And so that having that money situation. So we are going to shift now, because I'm just looking at the time going, oh my gosh, there's so much to go over. But credit is going to be really, really cool, because this is actually going to, the better credit you have, the goal is to get over 700. And after that to be over 760, because basically what we're going to do is I'm going to show you different ways and different modules and everything that we can chat about on a different conversation of actually how to leverage your credit and debt to paying off all of your debts substantially faster. So credit, what it is, it's simply the ability to make payments over time. The banks and the credit lenders just want to say they love giving, they'll give you as much money as they can, as long as you can continue to pay them small amounts, because they're going to make money off of your money.
Absolutely.
They love it. And the better credit you have. So there's 3 credit scores that make up your FICO score, which is, you look at Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So you might have 700 on Equifax, you might have 680 on TransUnion, and you might have 720 on Experian. Your FICO score would be Equifax, because that's 700. It's whatever's in the middle. It's not the average. It's the one that's in the middle.
I think that's really a good point, because I don't think a lot of people knew that one.
Nah, it's so, and the principles about money are so basic, but yet people generally talk over your head to tell you what to do with your money, or don't worry about it. Credit scores are so difficult, which, I mean, there is definitely an algorithm to them. There's a lot of stuff, but I mean, it's something that people need to know, because it's not just their, getting loans. It's their mortgage, their credit cards, their auto insurance. It's anything. It's making purchases online. It's insurance. It's getting a job. So it's a really great opportunity for people to understand the basics, because if you're going the simple way, the 3-step process to build your credit, go down and get a small credit card from an organization. There's 1,000 out there: MasterCard, Discover, Visa, whatever it might be, and just say, hey, I'd like to get a $500 limit credit card. Put $50 on it, pay it off every month, and just do that. It's amazing what a $500 credit card or a small loan from the bank will do. Just to say, hey, I paid it off. I charged it up again. I paid it off again. It doesn't matter the amount of credit. It's the credit. It's the ability to pay it back. And if they're like, well, no, you've had a bankruptcy and we're not going to give you any money, then walk down to the bank, give them $500, and do what's called a secured loan, or the credit card company say, I'll give you $500. You take that as a basically security against my credit card. So I'm going to give you $500. Now you give me $500 that I can spend, and I'm going to spend that $500 and I'll pay it back. You still have my $500, but it's going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And Mr. Banker, you'll always have this $500. So even if I do default, you still have that. And they go, that's the best loan possible, because the banker can't lose, and the banker is always making money on your money. That's the simplest and easiest way. Do this with kids. This is the first place I went to go build my credit. My parents put a few $1,000s down. I think it was like $2,000 or $3,000 so I could buy a car, my first car. And I paid, my parents put it in the credit union, and I paid back the loan. And every time they paid back the loan, my parents got that money. So it was like I was paying back my parents, except I didn't have to, my parents weren't that, the lenders, the credit union was actually the lender. Yes. So it was great for all parties.
I'm glad you addressed that, because that was one of the questions, is what does secured credit card work?
Mm-hmm.
I know I did that with my own son too, to get him going with his credit, is getting a secured card.
Yeah, it's so easy, and it's something you can Google, and there's so many organizations out with, credit unions are great for that. They love that process.
Absolutely.
So 5 things really quick to improve your credit. The first is look at it. Yeah. Every single year, those 3 organizations, Transamerica, Equifax, TransUnion, sorry, I got, anyway, you can get a free credit report every single year from each of those organizations. Just look at it. And get a good mix of credit. And I'll go into this, but you want to mix it up. Keep your balances under 30%. That's good. That'll help build credit, but under 10% is the best. If you start getting higher than 30%, it actually starts working against you. So if you got a $10,000 limit, keep it under $3,000 that you charge onto that account. And if you want to build better credit, the best way is to keep it that $10,000 limit under $1,000 of
Yeah.
expenses.
Don't go max it out just because you got it.
Yeah, that's not it. That's exceptionally bad for your credit. And then keep your longest lines of credit open. Some people say, well, I'm going to transfer this balance over to a 0% interest, and they go, great. And then they close out an account. Bad news bears. And then report anything erroneous. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act, everything has to be clear, it has to be verifiable, and nothing is misleading. So if there is bad stuff on there, fight it. So here's what I mean by a good mix of credit. So the majority of credit repair companies actually leave 65% of the pie untouched.
Ooh.
So they just focus on your payment history. Denise, are you making your credit payments on time? Great. Oh, you had a late payment? Let's go back and fix that. But what they don't talk about is the other thing. So like I said, keep your balances under 30% or 10 to 15. That's gonna be the best. So they'll looking at the overall balances that you have. And then also that length of credit history is 15% of your credit score. So if you've got an old gas card that you haven't used in 15 years, go back and charge something on it. It will boost your credit just like that.
Wow.
And because then you have an active credit that's 15 years older. Now they don't look anything back past 25 years. So to have more lines of credit that are open the longest, that's what you want to stay with. New credit is actually a good thing. A lot of people, when they say, oh, my credit is going to fall because I'm getting a new car. Well, initially, yes, but if you borrow $20,000, that is actually going to reflect well on your credit. Now that credit is going to decrease over time because 5 years later, it'll be like 15,000 and 10,000 and 5,000 and 0. So that credit is now dissolved. So that credit will gone away. But then you have positive credit because you have that payment history. So take that hit in the beginning, but it will benefit you over time. And then types of credit, variability. You want to have those revolving credit and diminishing credit. So your mortgage, it's diminishing. You have those revolving credit cards, like credit cards that bounce up and down and up and down. And you want to have those diminishing one-to-one. So you want to have one that's consistently going down versus one that's back up and down and up and revolving. So that's what you basically will help you to build positive credit. And now the last thing.
Okay, we have a question that came in.
Cool.
Sorry, I know you've got a lot more to cover, but question is here that they don't believe in any debt. They don't have any credit cards. All they have is a mortgage. And what you're saying to them is that they need to maybe go get a credit card and just use it a little bit every single month.
Oh, it's interesting. People hate debt, but then they'll jump into a $300,000 debt on the mortgage. You know what, Denise, I really, really, really feel uncomfortable getting a credit card with a $5,000 max. I know I owe the bank $500,000, but this $5,000 credit card feels really bad to me. Well, that's the lack mindset. That's the debt mindset. And when we get into it another time, there's points, there's travel incentives, there's so many things. I travel for free every single year. All of my flights are always paid for, all of them. Just because all of my things that I spend on a monthly basis, I charge them on my credit cards and then I pay them off. I've got it on automatic payments, and I do that before the credit goes through that date, that close date. And so I never get any interest charged on me. So there's so many ways that credit is actually good. And the question is, do you want to ever leverage, or do you want to take out loans for any other reason? Because if you want to, you got to have that positive credit.
Yeah.
So if you want the better insurance rates, if you want the better refinance, if you want that job, I mean, I hate to say it, but to have those good credit, these are all good things. And that's why I started off with the mindset. Where are you? Because that individual who spoke up, there's something there to go back to. Well, why do I fear debt? Oh, it's because my parents. It's because my former spouse, they couldn't control their spending, and I created a lot of fear around it, or whatever it might be. And we live this life because of that. And it's really going back and understanding why and feeling through those processes. and getting yourself at a place of empowerment. So that's part of the processes that we help people go through, and understanding is where are they coming from and where is that sentiment? Where is it coming from? So
that's awesome.
great question.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now wrapping up, this is the retirement thing, because, hey, 2001 happened, 2008 happened. In less than 10 years, people had the opportunity to lose 50% of their retirement, not once, but twice. And so it's not a question of if, it's just a question of when it will happen. And it's not just retirement, it's education, it's the value of people's homes. It's a great economy now, but who knows what could potentially happen around the corner, or shift the tides so we collapse on this sand trap that we built our financial future on. So basically, the retirement focus is what we call index accounts. Index accounts this is simple, and 93% of people have no idea that it exists. And this is where we're gonna wrap up, and literally in 4 minutes or less, you're going to become an expert on this.
Cool.
Because basically, what it is it's passively owning the stock market while avoiding the downside risk. Yeah. And that's what Tony Robbins, in his book, Money Master the Game, this is his quote. And he was actually interviewing this interesting man called Warren Buffett. He's one of the wealthiest men in the world. And he has 2 rules. Never lose money. See rule number 1. Those are his rules. And so basically, that's what index accounts are. So what index accounts are, very, very simply, is instead of focusing over, I'm going to change this. So instead of focusing on the risk side.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Woo!
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. So I'm focusing on the risk side, or the safe side of money. What we do is we focus on the middle of these index accounts, and basically they are safe. And some reason my pen's not working right here, but instead of focusing on the risk where you get all the upside of the market, and the trade-off is you have all the downside, or here on the safe side, you have your protection for tiny gains. What basically we show people how to do is get the upside of the market and 0 losses. And so you basically can do what's called a rollover. So you have an old 401k, you've got an IRA, you've got a settlement, an inheritance, you have money, equity in your home, you've got money literally buried in your backyard. You roll it over into a no-risk account, or a lot of people do this monthly because they have to save more money than they do. And basically what happens is these things, the growth is tied to the S&P 500, which is the best barometer of how our country's, America is doing financially. So when the market is going, or when the S&P is going great, that means distribution sales is going up. When the market is going down, GDP is down and our country is not doing well. And if you have your money in the S&P, which is really the Vanguard 500, the market goes down 8%, you experience that loss. When the market goes up 8%, you experience that gain. But what happens is your money is not in the market. Your money is over here in this safe, no risk account. And what it does is it looks to the market. So what I mean by that is the first year, you'll get an 8% gain, but the second year when the market goes down, there's actually this 0% floor. So they would give you a 0. And I have a lot of people going, well, that's great. Why would I want a 0? And I say, well, you got this 2000 from the 80s till 2000, it was really going up. And then we had this 42% loss in 2001 and 2002. And then we had this situation, it rallied back up in 2007. But then unfortunately we had that dip, 2008 at 54%. And we're never been higher. But if we readjust to where we did before, back in 2001, 2008, this will be a lot more detrimental. And so could I have offered you, Denise, a 0% on 2008 or 2002? And most people say yes, absolutely, because 0 is literally your hero. Now the trade-off, remember, all the gains, all the losses, safety, low returns. Over here, 0% floor, but there is a ceiling. So let's just say the market goes up 15%. What happens is, let's take an average ceiling of 13%. Market goes up 15, hits this ceiling, and they credit your account 13%. Congratulations, you know about index accounts. And the trade-off is, people say, you know what, Trevor, this does not happen very often. Actually, when you go back and look at it, it doesn't. 15% does not happen very often.
No, it does not.
Yeah, and if you can avoid those losses and get the upside, and when the market goes down, you just level off, hit that rebound, and then you're good. And what happens is, instead of being on a roller coaster, you are now on an escalator. And when the average investor in their lifetime gets less than 3%, and this is conservative, we show people how to get 7% or more, which basically, when you look at the rule of 72, which shows you how fast your money will double, real quick, and we'll wrap up. If the bank gives you 1% interest, divide that into 72, that means that your money will double every 72 years. So if you're 30 right now and have $10,000, it will literally take 100 until you're 120 or 102 years old to have that $10,000 turn into $20,000. But by the rule of 72, just getting 7%, that means your money's going to double about every 10 years. So you're 30, and then you're 40 and 50 and 60, and we'll stop here at 70, because that's when most people, 75 is actually what I hear most people saying is when they'll be able to retire. But 10 turns into 20, 20 turns into 40, 40 turns into 80,
yes.
80 turns into 160.
Yeah.
And this is a lot nicer. And I can show people how to get the upside of the market, no down. And when they get there, whether it's 60, 65, 55, it doesn't matter. I can show people how to create a guaranteed lifetime income, which most people, like I said, 70% of people go 10 years and then they're broke. So that sums it up.
Wow, that's awesome. So I am getting ready to put up some your contact information. And
I just did.
You did.
I did.
Did not see it. Did not see
Yeah.
it. There we are. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So I don't have to scramble to get this up there. So, Trevor, my gosh, this information. Now, just to wrap it up here, I know we're a couple minutes past, so everyone, thanks for hanging in there with us. But I just have to say, I love the possibilities that you give people. And that this is really not something to be overwhelmed by, because that was one of those stages that you talked about. But, I think a lot of people do find it overwhelming to just sit down and, oh my gosh, I got to do this and figuring all this stuff out. It's really not that complicated. And that there are caring people like you that can give them that hope and be that hope for them until they can grasp it themselves and know that you can get them to a better place and give them the truth as to what they need to do with their credit. And planning for retirement, it is a possibility. It's not one of those where you have to work until your dying day. You can just you can live the life that you want even into retirement. So my goodness, and any last minute words that you want to share?
Money can be fun. Retirement can be fun. Debt is actually very exciting. And I just encourage you to find other individuals, whether it is a financial empowerment group of one of the ones we run or one of our virtual online classes. Just find some way to plug in. All my information was online. I even give you my cell phone number, the 720-588-8447, and give me a call. We have virtual classes that we do 2 or 3 times a week that goes into the dollars and cents. We show you how to grow unlimited piles of cash that you're able to access whenever you want, tax-free, without taxes or penalties, and show people what the millionaires and billionaires are doing every day. And we're doing this because 99% of people have no access to any financial education or support. It's really what it is. So it's really about being fed up with where you are and saying enough is enough, and knowing you have someone that will help you, because this is what I live for.
That is awesome. So I am sharing my screen real quick. Just a reminder to everyone that we do these webinars, these Apple a Day webinars. as part of one of the services offered by You Define Wellness, my company. You can find our schedule of upcoming webinars. They will be updated very, very soon, but you just put it on your calendar at the second and third Thursday of every month. They're always free of charge. They always provide great information, and we always bring people like Trevor to come in and share with you some great tips. And they are also posted on our YouTube channel. You can find us just by Googling You, as in Y-O-U, Define Wellness. So Trevor, thank you again for being with me today. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to great adventures working with you as we go forward here.
Thank you again, Denise. It was fun. And